Oh, so there's a section out there of fans here on these YouTube streets where the loonies come to talk boxing, right? I mean, of course, there are some sane ones out there, but for the most part, a lot of them need to be in the loony house, you know what I mean? Or go ahead and sit your ass down and watch some Looney Tunes. So I heard some of y'all is on going up in arms due to the fact that the man Dillian Whyte situation has not um, hasn't been rectified yet, you know, and he won't become the mandatory challenger for Deontay Wilder's WBC belt till February of 2021. So I heard y'all, you guys are in a frenzy, up in arms about this guy Dillian Whyte being told he got to fall back and let the WBC approve the rematch against Deontay Wilder with Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury is the number one ranked, excuse me, he's the number two ranked fighter in the WBC in the heavyweight rankings. Yeah. Well, hey man, look man, you Black Michael Montero channels out there hating on Deontay Wilder, Black Steve Kingman, and what's that guy's name? Fig Newton, Thunderdome, Thunderboxing, whatever the fuck his name is. Oh, y'all fellas gonna get that work today, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all fellas gonna get that work. Fellas out here sounding like Povetkin in 20, like the Povetkin situation in 2016 with Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Yeah, right? I remember that situation. And I'm gonna keep it tall with y'all. Yeah, the black channels was out here saying, fuck Povetkin. Povetkin a steroid abuser. Oh, Povetkin, man, wanted to kill Deontay Wilder. Oh, Deontay Wilder is a great man. He was willing to go to Russia to fight the man Povetkin. A lot of black channels applauded him. This was before he started getting all this kind of hate. You know what I'm saying? And I know where the hate comes from, but I'm going to keep that to myself, you dig? Yeah. A lot of them racist channels, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they will say, oh, the man Deontay Wilder is ducking Povetkin. This is after finding adverse findings of steroids in his system. They said Deontay Wilder is ducking him. Hey man, what could you do? You know what I mean? I'm not here to convince nobody. You've seen the facts. You know what I'm saying? It's been put on the table. The man Povetkin was on steroids. Now this guy Dillian Whyte, Dillian Whyte not only that is not only worse than Povetkin, he's actually allowed to fight a guy in Oscar Rivas while under the influence of PEDs. Man got PEDs in his system. Was out there in the heavyweight division, man, and he's trying to kill that man. I don't give a fuck what nobody say, man. And I want y'all to come on my channel. Please do. Please, Black Michael Montero channels and Steve Kim and Fig Newton, Black Fig Newton channels out here. Please come in my comment section and try to defend the man Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? The man tried to kill this guy, Dillian Oscar Rivas. Guy came out of from Canada. You know what I'm saying? After having a big win. You know what I'm saying? Beating the man, what's that guy from Philly's name? My man in Philly works out with him too every morning. They both vegans too, you know what I mean? What's the guy? Bye Bye Jennings, you know what I mean? Big ups to my mans out in Philly, man. Big up on himself, bad man. Yeah. So, now, this guy, they find this guy Oscar Rivas comes off the biggest W in his career, a come from behind win, and it stops the man Brian Jennings in the 12th round. Okay, now it's only supposed to go up and up. One things can only get brighter. Moving up to the east side, you know what I'm saying? We moving up, going up, to, sky high. He gets a fight with Dillian Whyte. Good for him. He goes from Canada all the way to England to fight this guy who's under PEDs. The fight was close. The man Oscar Rivas even put this guy on the canvas, Dillian Whyte. But they found that the man had PEDs in his system. Eddie Hearn and them knew this. UCAD knew this. You know what I'm saying? And they went ahead and sanctioned the fight. Fellas should be in handcuffs. I don't care what nobody says, man. I'm not hating on Eddie Hearn. Be Marsh Boxing don't even come on this channel to bang on nobody. That's not what I do. But if you are breaking the law, or if you are doing negative things in boxing, I'm gonna call your funky ass out, and that's what I'm gonna do right now. And this man Eddie Hearn and them, they let that fight go ahead with UCAD, okay? Now, the WBC has ruled that Dillian Whyte's situation is in the process with UCAD and Whyte's representatives and with the WBC. If his situation is resolved, he will become the mandatory challenger for February 2021. Sit your ass on the sideline. You've been redshirted, you know what I mean? Sit your ass on the sideline. All you're relegated to do is fight some fucking nobodies, you know what I'm saying? Till you get your opportunity to get sparked the fuck out. Because that's what's going to happen. Believe you me, you know what I mean? This guy don't believe in himself. And y'all fellas out there y'all fellas out there, y'all caping for this guy, you know what I mean? Campaigning for this guy to get his WBC mandatory shot. Y'all fellas is some fucking degenerate sickos, man. Word to God, man. Because you guys were the same guys who were defending the man Deontay Wilder when Povetkin tested steroids. It was them usual suspects who said Deontay Wilder was was ducking Povetkin. You know what I mean? Now, since it's now basically a UK and the US thing, you know what I mean? Fellas out here cooning like a motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Instead of getting on with their lives and enjoying the fighters that they do, whether it be Anthony Joshua, Dillian Whyte, somehow, some way, they say Deontay Wilder is relevant, but they jealous of the man, you know what I mean? Because all they do is talk all day, every day about the man, you know what I mean? They talk about everything about him except the fact that the man is undefeated, has one draw on his record, and will spark out almost everybody who's sparked out everybody who stood in front of him besides Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? There been never been no adverse findings, no PEDs found in Deontay Wilder's system. But since now y'all caping for this man Dillian Whyte, hey man, y'all fellas out there, man. I don't know what to say but call you guys the new demographic, you know what I mean? There's a new demographic out there, especially of black channels, you know what I mean, who can't keep Deontay Wilder's Bozak out their mouth. Now they caping for this guy who's a predicate. This ain't a first time offender. A predicate steroid PD abuser, man. Y'all fellas is sick too, you know what I mean? Y'all fellas the type of fellas, man, to be fucking a bitch and fuck around and take off the rubber while she don't even know just so you could go in it raw dog, you know what I'm saying? Sickos, man. Ain't even ask no consent from the shorty. You just do that shit on some vigilante savage shit, you know what I'm saying? That's the same type of thing this guy's doing, you know what I mean? He's out here trying to kill fellas while he's under the PD use. Twice he's been found, you know what I mean? Till 2021. Personally, I think this guy should be banned out the sport of boxing. But that's neither here nor there. Let that man get his Mando position because B Marsh Boxing, since 2016, since that first guy, that first Russian, remember when what's his name, Povetkin tested positive for steroids. The man Deontay Wilder was having finding um, trouble finding a fighting partner, somebody to fight. They brought in this tall dude out of Europe, Warzik or something. That man tested positive. You know what I mean? I was one of the first channels on this YouTube boxing shit telling the man Deontay Wilder, go ahead and fight that man Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? Get that man out the way. I've been saying that from 2016 till today. You know what I mean? I thought that Molina, not Molina versus Brazil should have been Brazil versus Dillian Whyte. But then never forget, hashtag never forget, the man Dillian Whyte didn't want to fight that man Dominique Brazil to be put as the mandatory because for the longest that man was a contender. You know what I mean? The number one contender. I seen Johnny Nelson, old goofy ass. Johnny Nelson was a whack ass cruiserweight. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Them fellas cheated a lot of people, man. What's that guy? What's that tall dude, man, from Panama? Guillermo Jones. I thought Guillermo Jones beat that man, Johnny Nelson. What's the other guy? Carl Thompson. This fellas beat, you know what I mean? Beat Johnny Nelson. He was a whack fucking cruiserweight, and them fellas be on this joint having Eddie Hearn's Bozak in his mouth talking about, oh, Dillian Whyte has been the mandatory for like 300 plus days, man. Why you not talking about the guy taking steroids and being found with steroids in his system and still the United Kingdom, the UCAD, let that man fight? Come on now. Come on now, leave that man, motherfucker Deontay Wilder alone unless you want to put your man in the ring with him immediately. Now, if the guy doesn't have no steroids in his system, B March Boxer would not be making this video. If this guy wasn't, if you black Michael Montero channels out here, y'all new demographic channels, because y'all basically call black fellas like me the demographics, you know what I mean? These were words I used to hear Michael Montero talk. You know what I'm saying? And I don't listen to no Michael Montero. Fellas would start putting out videos talking about, look at this guy hating on people who make YouTube videos because he got his girlfriend and he puts in a lot of work and he had only 3,000 subs at the time when other motherfuckers have already amassed a 100,000 subs. You know what I mean? The man was bitching. Now he was talking about the demographic. Y'all fellas out here sound just like Michael Montero, so I lump y'all in them kind of categories with the Fig Newtons, the Thunderdomes, the Steve Kims, Dan Raphaels, motherfucking the Michael Monteros. Who else is out here who be talking goofy shit? What's that Italian dude from up there, Lake George, upstate New York? Billy C. You know what I mean? Billy C hates Deontay Wilder. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, just like y'all motherfuckers hate Deontay Wilder. Just cause motherfuckers, man, hey man, it ain't nothing new, you know what I'm saying? People been scared of an intimidating, strong black man. That's nothing new, you know what I mean? They want man to be docile and hashtag stay humble like the man Anthony Joshua. Yeah, you seen what happened to that man. Talking about stay humble, letting the man Andy Ruiz hold his belts before he even earned them. Ask Andy Ruiz if he gonna let that man Anthony Joshua touch his belts. He like, hell nah, man. I'm from Imperial, California, dogs. You gotta take this from me before I let you touch it. Well, Deontay Wilder, I'm sorry, Dillian Whyte and his sympathizers, I can't do nothing for you, man, on some Flavor Flav PE shit. Y'all gonna get that work today, and you just gonna have to sit there and suffer and watch Dillian Whyte languish in obscurity on the motherfucking sideline. He's gonna be red-shirted. And if for y'all in the UK who don't know what red-shirted means, it's something over here in the NCAA in college when a guy has to sit for the whole fucking year, be practicing and shit, but he can't get on the floor. You know what I mean? Because maybe the academic reasons, or maybe he transferred from another college to not this college. So it is what it is, man. And I'm happy that the WBC have demoted that man till 2021. And like I said before, go check my channel. I've been talking about Dillian Whyte versus Deontay Wilder way before a lot of channels out here. This was when Deontay Wilder eventually had to settle with Chris Arreola because a lot of guys were taking steroids. You know what I mean? You check it. I think it happened twice where guys tested positive for steroids. I think even when he had to fight the Gerald Washington, somebody tested positive for steroids. Deontay Wilder had to fight him as a fill-in. You know what I mean? So I've been clamoring for that fight, but how can I clamor for a guy who's a fucking predicate steroid abuser? And y'all fellas out here caping for this guy. Oh my gosh, man. Y'all fellas is retarded, man. And you fellas, man, can get the gas face straight up and down, man. You know what I mean? Y'all fellas get the gas face because you guys are deluded. You've already shown your moral compass. You thrown that shit out the window because you want to campaign for a predicate steroid abuser who fought while the United Kingdom knew UCAD knew this guy was on steroids. So fuck the bullshit. Y'all not getting no love over here. What the deal, Brooklyn Child Boxer? What's going on with you, dogs? Brooklyn Child Boxer says, what's good, bro? Dillian Whyte should be suspended. Hey, man, he should be, but they not going to do it. But it don't matter to me, just as long as the motherfucker has to suffer and still be crying and having Deontay Wilder's name in his mouth. Sit your ass on the sidelines and spectate as a fan, because that's all you are, a motherfucking fan. You know what I'm saying? A guy who ain't got no heart, who don't believe in himself, that he had to use that steroids against the man Oscar Rivas. You know what I mean? Anthony Purvis, what the deal, man? He's in the chat. He says, good looks, B, for killing that BS. These guys are pushing, you know what I mean? Of course, man. Yeah. And they listen to that guy, Johnny Nelson. And they listen to Tony Bellew. Tony Bellew is a fucking wanker. I'm going to talk like the British motherfuckers. This dude is a wanker, dog. He be talking the most shit. And let any of these people tell you, they'll say the man Tony Bellew is a great fighter. Yeah, I remember when that motherfucker was a mandatory for Chad Dawson. Chad Dawson got sparked the fuck out by Adonis Stevenson. Yeah, now he was Adonis Stevenson's Mando. He called the man Adonis Stevenson a midget. He called him a pimp. Called him all kinds of shit. And the motherfucker Adonis Stevenson, mind you, is maybe 5'9", 5'10". Tony Bellew, a good 6'3". Yeah. Yeah, you seen what happened to him in that fight. He got his ass handed to him. You know what I'm saying? Nobody ever done that to Tony Bellew. You know what I mean? Tony Bellew was talking all kinds of shit against Deontay Wilder. Does he ever want to step in the ring with him? No. But everybody and anybody who's in the circumference or in the perimeters of Deontay Wilder as far as possibly fighting, he swears up and down that guy will fuck Deontay Wilder up. Why the fuck you couldn't do it? Why you couldn't do it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why Usyk did what he did to you. You know what I mean? You were so humble with Usyk. Yeah, yeah. I already know people like the man, Tony Bellew. Don't come and tell me nothing about Tony Bellew's mixed race. I don't give a fuck about none of that. I already know what side he identifies with. You know what I mean? Yeah, stay over there on Sky Sports. Keep hating on the man Deontay Wilder. One thing for sure, two things for certain. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't even gonna step in the ring with him. And you actually shouldn't. You ain't on that kind of level. You couldn't even beat a midget and a pimp in the 175 division. You know what I'm saying? Talking all that shit. Yeah. Let's get it going with the chat. Brooklyn Chopbox says, is it true that Rivas is signing with Eddie? I'm not sure. Actually, I heard Rivas signing with Top Rank. Actually, that's the last I've heard. I haven't heard nothing about him signing with Eddie. And if he does, he's a retard. Actually, look, man. If I were him, I'd just stay with Top Rank. Top Rank do they shit in the USA. You know what I'm saying? Or if he signs with his own matter of fact, he could do what he want, man. Don't matter to me. Don't matter to me. He should go wherever is more lucrative for him and his family. You know what I mean? That's what I'm all about. Where you can go get the most guap and also have to test yourself. You know what I mean? Unlike what Tyson Fury's doing. But ask me if I care what he's doing. I don't care what he's doing. That man knows what the deal is. He's avoiding Deontay Wilder, going out to fight, do wrestling, so he could avoid that fight. It's only gonna get worse for him, but it's on him, man. He could stall all he wants. You know what I mean? And Eddie Hearn is known for a guy to be trying to stall fights. Come on, man. He was doing this shit back when Adonis Stevenson was Carl Froch mandatory, man. He tried everything in his power to avoid that fight. And he got lucky. Adonis Stevenson decided to say, you know what, fuck y'all. I'm going up to 175. My first title shot straight away. I'm going to 175 while I've been the mandatory for guys like Andre Ward, who never wanted to fight him. Carl Froch, who never wanted to fight him. That's the only reason that Carl Froch kept that IBF belt. All he was talking about was having a rematch with Kessler, a rematch with Lucien Bute, and a rematch which he really didn't want. You kept bringing up Andre Ward's name. Come over here to Nottingham. Come over there to the UK. But I'm sorry, the man Adonis Stevenson said, fuck y'all. And he just went up to 175 and he knocked out Chad Dawson. And that's how Carl Froch get to keep his IBF belt because not that Adonis is the WBC and the lineal champion, his Mando status is null and void with the 168-pound sanctioning bodies. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what happened. And Eddie Hearn escaped a bullet there because they were going to force that man. Carl Froch was ready to vacate that IBF belt, so he been doing that. Look at Eddie. What's the guy's name? Kell Brook versus Errol Spence. Man, Errol Spence had to fight two eliminators because these guys were holding the process back. And look, man, with this WWBC franchise shit, you guys out here showing the fake outrage to the wrong people, man. The WBC are in this shit for money. You know what I'm saying? They're in this shit for money. Anybody who is a dummy to be paying an extra sanctioning body, extra fees to a new belt, it's on them. They're the dummies. You know what I'm saying? Any of these champions could vacate their straps and say, I don't want to pay no sanctioning fees. I don't give a fuck about y'all belts. I walk around planet Earth with no strap, but the people know I'm the people's champion. I'm the champ. They could do that. Of course, the belts bring leverage and it's more prestigious and there's something to put in your trophy case. But at the end of the day, it's the promoters who urge and make exceptions with these sanctioning bodies to do these type of, boxing protection programs, i.e. Canelo. It's Golden Boy and Canelo who influenced the WBC to do these things. It's Bob Arum and Top Rank who influenced the WBC to make Lomachenko a franchise champion. You know what I'm saying? It's not the sanctioning bodies who just come up with this shit and just say, look, man, we want to protect you guys. We don't want you guys to fight your mandatories. Nah, man. Look, man, this shit been going on for a long time, you know what I mean? Where promoters want to keep mandatories away from they star pupil or they standout fighter. I just gave you an example of how Eddie Hearn been doing that with, and look, man, if you think I'm hating on Eddie Hearn, man, fuck you, man. I don't give a fuck what you gotta say. You know what I mean? Because now I'm getting tight because people are out here defending the steroid abuser in the man Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? And now you guys are gonna be mad at me because I'm telling y'all the truth. How the man Eddie Hearn also tried to do the same thing with Kell Brook and Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? They tried to stall that fight so Errol Spence couldn't get his shot. They did the same thing with Adonis Stevenson. Kept talking about Lucian Bute rematch with the man Carl Froch when he fucked him up in 5 rounds, but ain't want to fight his mandatory. Man ain't even want to fight his mandatory. Carl Froch ain't want to fight James DeGale. He'd rather retire than fight James DeGale who was on the come up. You know what I mean? You check it. So that's on you, man. I don't care what nobody say. One thing for sure, two things for certain. B Marsh Boxing don't come on this YouTube shit and talk about Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua and all these other people. Like y'all fellas talk about PBC and Deontay Wilder all day, every day. You know what I'm saying? Fellas swear up and down, you guys are for the fighters and the injustices that they see that happened, but y'all don't be crying for Bubu Andrade when Triple G and Canoli ducking him. Y'all don't be crying for Gary Russell when a whole division is ducking him. A whole division. Nobody got the heart to step in the ring with that man. Not even Abner Mares. Gary Russell walking around with the WBC belt that Abner Mares used to hold. He got knocked out by old Johnny Gonzalez. Never even tried to do a rematch. Come on, man. That man Abner Mares hasn't been a world champion since like 2013. Don't come and tell me nothing about that WBA regular shit that he beat that Jesus Cuellar for. Don't do that with me because I already know Leo Santa Cruz and Carl Frampton at some point in time they had the WBA title. You know what I mean? When Carl Frampton beat Leo Santa Cruz and then Leo Santa Cruz beat him back for the strap. But that man, fellas, you guys just be selective with the people you like. You check it, and that's not cool. That's some fanboy shit. That's why I made that video about YouTube fanboy pages. You guys are like them Twitter pages or Instagram pages that is a fan channel, a fan page for like a Michael Jackson fan page or a Beyonce fan page or you know what I mean. Let's read the chat one more again, man. Brooklyn, okay, where we at? Finks out the boxing. What the deal, man? He says, big up, B Marsh and chat. Big up to yourself, too. Salute to Finks out the boxing. Brooklyn Chat Boxing says, I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't mind seeing Wilder knock this fool out cold. Man, I've been wanted that from long time, dogs. Since 2016. When that guy had, when Deontay Wilder was seeking fighters to fight when guys were popping left and right. You know what I mean? Left and right with the steroids. You check it? Thinks out the boxer says, too bad Dillian pot, but the way things are going, Whyte would have been elevated to WBC paper champ with Wilder as a franchise champ. I don't want Wilder to get no franchise belt. No. The franchise belt is a boxing protection program belt. It's made for fighters to avoid fighting the mandatories. And I don't want Deontay Wilder lumped up into that category. I don't. He don't deserve it, man. Lomachenko is a protected fighter. The guy never even been a lineal champion. Man got one loss on his resume. His second fight, he got a majority decision against Gay Russell. People out here straight up and down talk like he washed Gay Russell. No, sir, that fight was a majority draw. I'm sorry, majority decision. You know what I mean? And Gary Russell did drop the man Lomachenko. The referees did not count that as a knockdown. If they did, that fight possibly would have ended up a draw. You know what I mean? So let's keep things in perspective and be real about everything. You know what I mean? So look, I got nothing against Lomachenko, but they did Luke Campbell dirty. Why the fuck Lomachenko couldn't wait for Luke Campbell to fight Devin Haney for the vacant WBC title? Then go ahead and fight one of these guys. Fight the winner. Lomachenko could have fought the winner. You know what I mean? Now Luke Campbell's out there looking like a dummy sitting on the sideline because Eddie Hearn didn't campaign hard enough for that man to. And look, and it comes down to money. Eddie Hearn saw the cash value and he said, forget about this guy's lifelong dream of trying to become a world champion. The money is bringing Lomachenko over here to the United Kingdom where he's never fought, a place where last time he fought, he won a gold medal in the Olympics. So he put he didn't care anything about, what's that guy, Luke Campbell's feelings. He saw the money. Everybody knew that Lomachenko gonna beat that guy. You know what I'm saying? And Lomachenko just comes in there, takes that man's belt in a unification. And remember, Lomachenko was not ranked in no top 15 in no WBC rank sanctioning body rankings by the time he got that fight. Goes ahead and gets that fight in a close fight, you know what I mean? A fight where he went life and death with the guy. And then he just vacates that belt and the WBC granted him a franchise champion status. I don't even want Gary Russell to get no franchise, nothing. Deontay Wilder, nah, I don't want none of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody to make no excuses for ducking because that's what's been going on in boxing. And fellas are crying a river for Dillian Whyte only because they hate motherfucking Deontay Wilder. That's the only reason. Brooklyn Chopbox says Dillian was never the mandatory. What was he? Just the number one contender, right? Whatever he was, he's gonna just be that, but now with an asterisk, sit your ass on the sideline. You know what I mean? Mr. Creech said, "Who else talking goofy shit?" Facts though. Yeah, all them people who are crying for and sympathizers of Dillian Whyte. You know what I mean? The guy tested positive for steroids. Yo, when the WBC said that they found that the guy didn't have, or the guy that when they tested him, there was nothing in his system, and he wasn't necessarily exalted after that. But man, you should have heard these channels, man. These channels were clapping, dogs. Like man, like they had won a world championship, man. Like they was clapping like OJ beat that murder in 1995, man. You know what I mean? Like yes, you know what I'm saying? Neglecting the fact that the man was found in your country by your UCAD. You know what I'm saying? Fellas is dummies out here, man. Fellas is dummies, and they showing they can't keep a poker face. They already showed their hand. You know what I mean? They would love for Dillian Whyte to fight Deontay Wilder on one condition only. Dillian Whyte be juiced to the gills. That's the only way they would want Dillian Whyte and Deontay Wilder to happen. That's basically what they saying. You know what I mean? Black Michael Montero channels out here. You know what I mean? Fuck y'all. Dan the Man Boxing. What the deal, man? Dan the Man Boxing from the LA. What's going on with you, man? He says, what's good, B Marsh? He says, there are some dudes who are defending the WBC decision to elevate Lomachenko to franchise champ are mad about Dillian getting a 2020 shot at Wilder. Wow, SMH. Yeah, you know, it's about who they like, man. That's what it's all about. It's all about who they like. You know what I mean? They don't like Al Heyman, so they must like what's that guy's name? Eddie Hearn. You know what I mean? They don't like Deontay Wilder. And look, man, I've never been one on this YouTube shit for you to campaign to like anybody. You can like and hate who you want. But at the end of the day, don't be a fanboy and put things in perspective and be objective. You know what I mean? When somebody does something that's when they show their hand and they doing stuff that they're not supposed to do in boxing, they should be chastised and they should be, you know, fellas should go in on them. You know what I mean? I was always one talking about Deontay Wilder, man. Go ahead, go get that UK money. Go ahead and fight that man and boost your profile over there in UK. You know what I'm saying? You know, whenever Dillian Whyte was available, when guys were testing positive left and right for steroids. You know what I mean? I was always one to say that. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I said because Dillian Whyte doesn't even believe in himself. He doesn't. He didn't even believe in himself to take the same kind of money that Gerard Big Baby Miller was being offered to fight Anthony Joshua. It is what it is. The man's content with having pay-per-views out there with no strap. He be walking around planet Earth with a fake-ass WBC strap looking like old Leo Santa Cruz head ass looking, fake carrying belt looking motherfuckers out here. You know what I mean? That's exactly what those guys do. You know, Callum Smith, he got a WBC belt. But Callum Smith, the difference between him and Leo Santa Cruz and Dillian Whyte, Callum Smith is vicious. He's actually to me the best super middleweight. You know what I mean? As far as the most accomplished, as far as the guy who has gone through the gauntlet and has beat the best of the best. Now, look, man, he got somebody to handle in the WB with the WBO and Billy Joe Saunders. They should make that happen. The winner gets to fight the American super middleweight. Simple. We can have undisputed. Handle your business. Or matter of fact, put all four of them in a tournament. You know what I mean? Callum Smith, Billy Joe Saunders, Caleb Plant, and David Benavidez. And I can guarantee you this. I can guarantee you this. I'll keep that to myself. Let's keep it moving. Because the UK fans gonna be in their feelings. Alright, where we at? Fix Out the Boxer says the DuckTales song stuck in my head till this day. Yeah. These fellas gonna have to get that DuckTales video anytime they do any transgressions or they be ducking, man. They gonna get that work. Brooklyn Child Boxing says, I was in multiple debates. People are defending the fighters ducking Gary Russell. It's crazy. Yeah, I heard you on your channel a couple nights ago, man. And, you know, I respect, I fucks with EJ Boxing Live. He's a good dude, but I definitely disagree with what he's saying, you know what I mean? I definitely disagree. You know, if the man was up in his feelings about Leo San, Gary Russell, you know, when he made that video with Leo Santa Cruz Pops. I'm not upset about that one bit because there's one thing Leo Santa Cruz can do. He could do something about it, but you already know. He's a docile character. He ain't gonna do nothing. He don't even fight black fighters. Go look at his resume. Last time he fought a black fighter was probably in 2012. And that's when he got his first IBF bantamweight strap against some African dude. It was for a vacant IBF strap. Since then, he ain't fought no brothers. You know what I mean? You know, the man got a trend. Just look at his trending pattern. You know what I'm saying? Um, what else was I about to say? Yeah, you know, Leo Santa Cruz is fighting on Deontay Wilder versus Luis Ortiz undercard on PBC on Fox. He's fighting somebody. I think Miguel Flores. He's fighting somebody rather than Gary Russell. Gary Russell out here looking for an opponent. Gary Russell fought on Deontay Wilder's last pay-per-view versus Tyson Fury. You know what I mean? He fought on the undercard versus Kiko Martinez, former world champion at 122 pounds. But Leo Santa Cruz for 2019, he fought some Mexican nobody on Fox, PBC on Fox, on the same night as the Slam Dunk Contest, All-Star Weekend on that Saturday. That was a disrespectful fight to put on national TV when Gary Russell, the guy's a orthodox brawler. That's who Leo Santa Cruz fought. Gary Russell is a southpaw. You know what I mean? So you could tell he doesn't want no parts of Gary Russell. I hope the world knows this by now. And for all those who be talking about crying a river for fighters getting injustice, seems like I'm the only channel. And big ups to Brooklyn Child Boxing. He's definitely a supporter or for Gary Russell and the injustices that he's been going through. Fellas don't be talking about it. You know what I mean? I do. I respect Gary Russell, man. You know what I mean? Gary Russell is a good role model for his younger brothers, a guy was supposed to be an Olympian, but didn't make the Olympics because he got motherfucker got dehydrated before the Olympics or whatever, so he didn't make the cut simply because the man was, you know, I guess he couldn't make weight or whatever. You know what I mean? But he's a role model for his younger brothers. Gary Russell is not the typical type of PBC guys who, and I have nothing against those guys who have the PBC kit. You know what I mean? The PBC uniform, wearing those kind of Cuban link chokers. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I mean? Fellas like Javante Davis, even Jared Hurd, a guy who never used to, he would just have a dog tag. He started wearing that Cuban link choker like the Charlos and Javante Davis. And hey, man, when I seen him with one of those, I was like, uh-oh. And sure enough, he lost his strap, two of his straps, to Julian Williams. You know what I mean? Before that, he seemed like a humble guy. And I'm not saying he's not. You know, a guy who still cuts his parents' grass, a millionaire who still lives at home with his parents. Man drives a Kia. You know what I mean? That is Jared Hurd. But you know, he was starting to make $1 million per fight. So I guess he had to spend money on some kind of dog choker chain, you know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. Gary Russell don't wear no shines. All he do is dress in black all day, every day. I don't even see that man wear sneakers, man. That man look like he's always ready to stomp somebody out. He always got his black Timbos on, you know what I mean? But it is what it is, yo. B Marsh Boxing, salute to Brooklyn Child Boxing. Dan the Man, big ups to you. Hopefully I hear some videos from you. It's been a while, Dan the Man Boxing. Think Shot Boxing, salute. M. Creech, shout out to you. Big up to Anthony Purvis and everybody else in the chat. Hit that thumbs up on your way in and on your way out. And like I said, Dillian Whyte, he's a scumbag. And he needs to sit on the sidelines and watch the rest of boxing go on without him because them fellas did this to himself. B Marsh Boxing, I'm gone. Peace.